Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns newsstands. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
Hi, Jeff. Let me have some water. It's going to be a big podcast. We got things to talk. Let me get hydrated for this motherfucker.
I know if it's a third of how fired up you were coming on to this thing, that we might have to just stop after today, and that's it. No more.
Get ready for some bleeping.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. What's going on? What do you got?
What's going on? That's what happened.
Hey, anything new?
Let's start Saturday night.
Okay.
Saturday night. All right, it's time for a fight. What surprised you the most? Like, first of all, I spent forever trying to get the game on streaming. I mean, I'm at the Springfield Comedy Club, great club, but they don't have cable or anything, so I got to find it. So I go to Disney on their thing. It's not there. Can't find it. So I'm looking for it, and it says ABC. So I go looking for an ABC streaming. There's no ABC streaming. I end up having to go back to the way I got it was I had to go back to my Disney. It was so bizarre. I missed a period trying to get it. Anyways.
Yeah. No, I was trying to do the same thing because I was coming back to Vegas.
Because you're traveling.
I was traveling. I know I got home for the second half of the game, but so I had to listen on the radio. Thank you, Starlink. I was in the back. Starlink is so I was able, but I could not get it to stream either. So I just listened to it, and then so we got Dan and Gary who do the VGK broadcast. Great guys. Gary's been on with us. Dan hasn't. Maybe we'll get him on sometime. And then John Forslund and Eddie O on the national broadcast. And those guys are awesome. I enjoy them. But yeah, I to your point, when it's hard to find something, people are only going to go so far. So it could have been operator error, but since you struggled with it as well, I'm feeling better about my part where I couldn't attain the picture.
So what I learned was it's on ESPN Plus. So there's a Disney package that only has ESPN, not the Plus. So you had to get it on the Plus, which just blows my mind. I'm just like, what? I mean, like, why you got it? Anyways, next year TNT has it. Looking forward to that again.
Yeah. Crazy games though. So I do when I do the VGK games during the year, we have a statistician named Ray LaBouffe. And Ray, hey, I know it's a great name. He'd be great in Montreal, eh? He sends out 35 pages of stats. Like he's so amazing. Like I'll ask him a question during the season, like who has the most wins at home or the best winning percentage since Vegas came into the league? Because there was a time during the year that they were kind of meh at home, right? And he gets back to me within an hour or two, and it doesn't matter what time of day. He's phenomenal. So he sent out the stat sheet this morning, which is the morning of Game 4, and I was looking at it, and there's records upon things that have never happened before for both
sides?
teams. Yeah, both teams, and it's crazy. No team's ever come back and to tie the game. I think it was 4 goals in the third period in the Stanley Cup Finals. Carolina was able to come back and tie. Mitch Marner set the record for the quickest 3 goals ahead of a guy you might have heard of, Rocket Richard, with his natural hat trick within 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And I think the Rocket was 6:21 back in 45. If Ray's got all these stats, and I know there's a lot, these guys are with every team in the league, like for the TV side, and then of course the game sheets for the players to look at. But anyways, a little early shout out to Ray, but I was looking at it this morning, just marveling. there was pages of stuff that's happened in this series worth only 3 games into it that have never happened before. Multi-goal leads, the most, both teams coming back on that. Yeah, so crazy, a lot of fun, and
Well,
it's heartbreak kids, boy. I tell you, you bet it's not for the faint of heart. This series.
hey, it is not for the faint of heart. Question: if you were coaching, would you have pulled Anderson earlier?
Uh, I don't think so. I'm
Just didn't seem to me like he had it.
no, but you know what? Here's the thing. Bussy hadn't played, who came in and played unbelievable, the backup
Played
goaltender
amazing.
for Carolina. He hadn't played since I believe April 14th. So we're
Yeah.
knocking right on 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So I think what probably happened is uh Brendan Moore probably said, Brandon, you get ready, go stretch out, give him some time to get himself ready. I'm sure
If
when
it
it
was
went,
Rod, he didn't tell him to go stretch out. He goes, Brandon, we're gonna go stretch out, and we're probably gonna do some pull-ups together.
we're gonna go on the bike, we're gonna do
We're
some
gonna go on a bike
anaerobic
together.
training. We only have 17 or 18 minutes between periods, so we're gonna do sprints right away. 30 on, 30
Together.
off.
We're gonna do it
Times
together because I love to do them with you guys because I'm Rod the Bod. Let's get in shape.
That's right. Brendan Moore, he's probably like it's a funny story we talked about Nathan McKinnon in Colorado. A guy was riding the bike one day and he was Nathan McKinnon uh went by and cranked the tension up on him, looks at him, goes, that's better. That's what it reminds me of with Brendan Moore. It's like, hey, that's not bad, but this
Oh
is
my
better.
God.
This is good.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, I think just give him a chance to kind of get stretched out more than anything, because I know when it went to 3, Bussy was probably thinking, okay, there's a chance I'm getting in this game now. And
Yeah.
then when it went to 4, I think there was no question that he was getting into the game. And
When I got
um,
to 3, thought I should have probably had that hot dog.
I know, and I have to say, the food at T-Mobile over the last year or two is really has gotten a lot better. So it's trouble if you're just sitting there,
Oh my God.
probably pounding M&Ms or something. Like, I mean, you're just sitting there. You're right there on the bench. You're trying to stay
You're
composed,
nervous.
but
You're
you're
nervous.
nervous too because
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you do when you get a little bit of stress
He's
sometimes?
had 2 beers and a steak sandwich, and suddenly he's going.
All of a sudden he's like, where's the Red Bull? Anybody got some coffee? So yeah. So I
Where's my
thought
equipment? Holy shit, I need my chest protector.
yeah, he
Uh,
doesn't know where his glove and his blocker are.
exactly. It does make it is funny because you think about 2 months, you're like, does he have his stuff together? Is he even like did he even bring anything? He's just like, well, I guess I'm not playing. Holy shit, I'm playing.
Yeah, his mask is back in
Yeah.
Raleigh. You know what I think's
Where's my
interesting?
lucky skates?
Yeah, hopefully they were on his feet. I think like if you look around the league,
Hmm.
like in Vegas, the goaltender stands in the hallway or the exit as you go off the bench, or sits back there. So there's a lot of the play that they are not going to see during the game, and there's just sometimes where things are blocked out from the bench, like where the coaches and the goaltender stands.
Yeah.
Anything on their side of the ice, on the bench side of the ice, as it goes down into the corner to the right or to the left, they're not going to be able to really see it, and so.
I'm surprised they haven't called that for because they're making that bench smaller to sell extra seats, right? That's what they're doing. So I'm surprised they haven't called, hey, you need to have room for your backup goaltender to be out there to be able to see the game.
Well, I mean, look at the Bell Center in Montreal, like one of the meccas of hockey. The goaltender for the Canadians sits in between the bench. He was standing beside Brian Boucher while he was doing the color commentating, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Fowler, and then the backup for in the last series, Carolina. I think he sits basically in the stands on a chair in the corner. So I mean, the ridicule, right, that you're going to take, not an
Yeah.
easy place to be. And then when you think you're coming in, the fans are getting all over you. So yeah, it's seems to be an afterthought in the NHL where to put the backup goalie in some cities.
I know a lot of people don't believe it, but he's part of the team too.
Yeah, he's he certainly is, and
But he was I had to watch afterwards because I went on stage halfway through the second period, came off, and I'm like, is that a countdown to overtime? I was so confused when I was looking at the TV. I was just like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I gotta go sell some merch and then get back here and make sure that I see this overtime. And then I got a period and a half of it or whatever, however we got. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, you could have tightened up the show big time if you'd have known. Like if it was going
Yeah.
to go 4-4, you could have given them a solid
45.
yeah, 20, 35 to 45. You would have had no problem wrapping it up
Yeah.
that night, right?
Wouldn't have
But
been 70, I tell you that much.
yeah,
But I gotta be honest though. Sunday night, my show was an hour 45. Why? Because half an hour into it, Amber Alerts start going off. We got a tornado happening, right? So we got a tornado coming through, and I'm just like, huh, I guess this is how we're dying. But there's a guy missing a leg beside me, and there's another guy, he's missing fingers on the other side, and I've said, if anybody's not going to be scared, it's these fuckers. So we just kept on going.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's a little active in the Midwest right now.
That plane got bounced. We were bounced the whole way, and even into LA yesterday, we were bounced.
Yeah. It's
Anyways, back
just
to hockey.
that time of year. Yep. Back to hockey. What so yeah, so we're two to
So I missed
one.
the third. So I missed the
Yeah.
third period.
Oh,
I miss it live. Come back, come out. You're watching it live, so I know what's going on when I'm watching it. But you're watching it live. Are you just losing your shit? Because we know who you're a fan of, and are you just like are they blowing? Like, take us through it.
yeah, I think I mean Marty's the original homer though, right? So so I try to be Switzerland when I look at it. And Carolina, when it went 4-0, I think there was like 12 minutes left in the third. I want to say somewhere around there, and everything was going good. And then they came out of the TV timeout, and just it's like you took a bucket of water and just flipped it over, and everything came flying out. And Carolina got some pucks to the net. They got Jordan Stahl, who's been amazing. I mean, what's he, 38 now? He's been amazing. He got one of the goals. Aho makes an unbelievable pass across to Taylor Hall. Vegas kind of loses a little bit of their edge. Turn the puck over. The puck comes out front. I think Martinook got it started. So that was the first goal. And then I believe the second goal. So Vegas loses the puck goes by the net. Vegas loses a battle there, or just Carolina gets position. They throw it up front and they wrap it in. And then the next one, the puck goes into the corner. Vegas has numbers back. Aho throws a pass through two Vegas defenders and another guy chasing. Hall puts it in, and all of a sudden now you're like, whoa, 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 and that's all within like two shifts. Like we're not even there's the record too, 39 seconds for three goals. But my thought on it was at 4-2, I'm like, okay, all right, you're good. Call a timeout, right? That's what you would think. Okay, you're like, hey, call a timeout. And Torts and these veteran coaches, they've been there and done that. And he doesn't call a timeout. And all of a sudden, Stahl, who's been an all world, I don't know what his draw percentage is in this
It's
series.
insane.
It's got to be 60, 70%. He wins a draw. Slavin throws it to the net. Who gets a stick on it? Stahl redirects it. Anytime you get a redirection out front, you just tip your hat, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, he got position. They couldn't get a stick. But my thought, okay, so now you're 4-3, and you're like, oh boy, now we don't have enough fingers to plug the holes in the dam. But I go back to 4-2, and I'm like, huh, why not take a time out there and just be like, hey boys, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, let's just tap the brakes here, get a breath. But you know what Tort said after the game that I thought was really, it's really easy to Monday morning quarterback everything. But what Torch said was, if I take a time out there, they're blasting the music in the building, they're trying to keep everybody up, and I end up yelling at the guys because they can't hear me otherwise. And I thought that was brilliant. So he let it go. Now they ended up giving up another one, but they were able to kind of fight back. And now all of a sudden we got a 4-3 hockey game. But, it went Vegas
He's
4 goals, Carolina 4 goals. And, what it was just it's just crazy hockey. I mean, I don't know how to
Crazy
process it.
hockey.
That's what I would say. Yeah, is how to process some of what we're seeing is to give the NHL credit, man. They're charting new territory here.
It's run and gun. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's go back to the beginning of the game. This guy skates onto the ice and he's got a cage on his face, and you're like, that might be the toughest guy in the face of the earth.
Yeah, we look at the tough guys in the league, like that, stick up for their teammates all the time, and those guys are steel, man. They are steel. But then you take a slap shot in the face that basically takes part of your face off, which
Yeah,
it did. He had 30 stitches in his nose. Braden McNabb, and he comes back. And I've said it during the year. And I've watched this guy since he was in LA. I mean, before Vegas came, Braden McNabb was playing in LA. So who did we get in Vegas? We got the Ducks and we got the Kings. So I watched them all the time. And I watched this guy. And since he's come here, there's so much about his game that doesn't get appreciated. And
he's
they've
great.
always,
His
his
game
tough.
has grown too.
Oh, it's insane. And if you go back to him as a junior, he lit it up. But, most of the guys did. And then he's found a role, but he's still contributing offensively. Like he's wearing a cage. He's took a slap shot in the face. The next game he comes back, he sets up the game winning goal and he has 2 assists and he plays 36 minutes. So,
Mhm.
yeah, if you want to kind of clone someone that I've always said that I think he's a captain. He could be the captain of your team. It just happens to be in Vegas that they've got other guys that, I mean, Stone's unreal, but I think this guy's got the makeup to
Vegas,
be.
where they don't believe in drafting and creating a player, they don't believe in going out and getting them. On 32 Thoughts, they said they were waiting for Dylan Larkin to skate on the ice for the overtime.
Well, I mean, you think about it, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, just talking about Dylan Larkin really quickly. Um, I mean, if you want to see someone like upper echelon of skating, and uh, our good friend Michael Chason played with Dylan Larkin at the University of Michigan way back when, and they're
Uh-huh.
still buddies. But this guy put out if you believe it, he put out he wanted to get traded, so that leaks out, and then the teams he wants to go to leaks out, and
What are I didn't see the teams he wants to go to. What do you want to go to?
yeah, there's so now again, we're not factual here. We're just throwing it out there for discussion. Florida,
Of course.
Minnie, of course, Florida, who's going to be back next year? Minnie, who's going to be back next year? And Vegas. And Vegas takes a lot of heat, but it's shocking to me how players just keep wanting to come here. And I mean, I got to be honest with you. When I came here, I never left either. I went up for when I played with the Las Vegas Thunder. I got traded up, played 4 years or the last 3.5 years in Utah. Always kept a place here. Came back. So, and
I
we
think
had
I think
unbelievable
it's
support.
I think it's when you go in there, you play in there like as an opposing team member. I think you might see what's going on and what's being done different. And if your organization doesn't have that and you're going someplace else, you think, why not to go there? So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what I think's going on there. Uh, here's if I was Stevie Y, here's what I'd be going for. Just
Okay.
because does Dylan Larkin have a no trade?
Yes, and that's why he
So
submitted.
so so
Yeah.
do you think you should be able to have a no trade if you call for a trade?
Um. Well, I mean,
I
you
think
you
I think you're null and voiding your no trade if you're asking for a trade.
Well, but here's yeah, you know what? But I guess you could say so the no trade is to keep you from getting steered somewhere that
Steamrolled into the
you
into the abyss.
you don't want to go. That's
Yep.
what it's there. The no trade is actually it's not a no trade. It's I'll go here is what you're telling them in the end. And so normally um, you might have the general manager have the conversation with you, depending on where you are or where your team is. Say, hey, these teams have inquired about you. Would you have any interest in, like, if you wanted to go somewhere, would any of these teams fit what you're looking for? And we've had players, and I'll give you an example. Colton Parenko is a fantastic player. They had the deal done for Buffalo at the deadline, and Colton's like, "No, I'm good in St. Louis, thanks." Now that doesn't mean now after time to think about it over the rest of the season, and as we head into the after the finals, we're going to head into the summer and the draft, that he might reconsider and say to it's not, is it, who's the GM there now? It's not Dung Armstrong. Is it Steen now? I'm not.
Yeah, it's Steen. Steen's
Okay,
over
so
there.
he might have a conversation and say, hey, you know what? This is where are we? They're going to have that conversation, and these are teams that I would consider. It seems to me in Detroit that there is a little bit of a rub there between Dylan and Stevie, and I can tell you from playing with Stevie and knowing Stevie, you won't find a more dedicated guy. But you know what? Stevie thinks the way Stevie does, and you will not push him into a corner. He might ultimately move Larkin, but there's obviously something going on there, and it's unfortunate when this stuff spills into public. But knowing Stevie like I do, you won't find, and the success as far as getting in the playoffs hasn't gotten there yet, but you won't find a harder working, more dedicated person to what they do, and a strong-willed person as Steve Yzerman. So if this becomes a battle of minds or anything else, Stevie will have no problem sitting on his hands and waiting for it to play
Yeah,
out.
oh, he's not gonna, it's not happening quickly. I guarantee you that guy's gonna be not starting the year. Not
Well, you know what? He'll have to
unless
come to
unless
training
Stevie gets
camp.
what he wants for him, right?
Yeah, and
Unless
he'll
he
get
wants-
something really good.
Yeah.
Um, but what
But
happens
guys are gonna
is,
try to undercut him because they know he wants to, so he has to do what he has to do. Here's the trade that I would like. Larkin for Robertson. Because Robertson's name just keeps popping up, and I don't understand why they keep talking about him moving in Dallas. It's weird to me that they just keep bringing up his name to be moved. And I'm like,
well, he's a
that
UFA though. That's the only thing, right? So what you would need to do is you'd need to
sign.
sign and
Yeah.
trade, but he is what's it today? It's June 9th today.
Hmm. Got
We're three
July
weeks
1st.
away from July 1st. So there's no, like, they can sign, they can trade him. I don't know if Robertson has trade protection right now. They can go ahead and trade him wherever he wants. Whoever picks him up, um, he's
Still
going
have
to
to
be
sign
a,
him.
yeah, you have to sign him immediately, or he's going to go to
Well,
free agency.
well, but what's his face? You have to make sure he signs. Like you're not going to take him if he's not signing. But I think those when you look at talent for talent, right there. And by the
Yeah,
way,
but
that kid can take a puck to the face as well.
yeah, I mean, Robertson's unbelievable, but I don't,
Two tampons in his nose when they were playing that last period.
there's no way with him so close to free agency. I don't think that there's not a lot of leverage there. He doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but
And
neither
my
Stevie
guess
Y doesn't
is
need to do anything right now either.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Robertson, I don't
Oh,
see.
you're saying he's going to sign free agency no matter
Yeah, I
what. Yeah,
wouldn't.
he's going to pick where he wants to go. Okay, yeah, okay, you got me.
And I'm not saying he might not go to Detroit. They might be able to come up with some, but they would have to approach him to a sign and trade, and then they'd have to sweeten the pot. They'd have to throw something else pretty legitimate in there for Detroit to consider something like that. I would think. I mean,
Well, you
this
got more
guy.
years. You got a younger guy with Robertson. I think Detroit would be getting I would be getting the better deal on that.
Well, here's where you see it all the time, and you saw it in Montreal just in the last round against Carolina, uh, and you see it with other teams that are coming. Centerman, oh, you saw it many against Colorado. You know, you put Dylan Larkin in that lineup. Now, obviously, somebody's coming out of that lineup, but now you can match up way better against Carolina, or sorry, Colorado.
But who cares about
Montreal,
Colorado because it turns out that Vegas is still the stronger.
yeah, and then, but if you look, okay, so now
Got to get
Mini
through
was.
Colorado though.
Well, Erickson X was hurt, so that really hurt them. But now you put Dylan Larkin in that lineup, that makes, man, all of a sudden down the middle, they match up really nicely against Colorado. Let's put them in Montreal behind Suzuki or ahead of Suzuki. So you got Larkin, Suzuki, Evans now drops to the third. Right now, you line up way better against teams, and that's one of the strengths that Carolina has, and it's one of the strengths that Vegas has had is down the middle. So what I'm getting at with
It
Larkin is
also
it's
puts 2 or 3 more shots a game for Montreal, so you're probably around 16 or 17 shots a game.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. What they beat Tampa with? Was it 9 or was it
Nah,
12? Something
something
crazy.
ridiculous.
So
Like I don't care. Like this has been the oddest playoffs so far. Like the oddest playoffs. Colorado getting knocked out. Montreal winning with nine shots. Like all of a sudden in the middle of it, a coach is denied to go someplace. Coach is being hired. Guys, overtimes. Like the game's just going from like this. It's
well,
it's
yeah,
it's been weird.
yeah, I agree. Bye. I think I think one of the things too is to just bring it back to the Stanley Cup final is Montreal is a needle driver. Okay, like original 16, and I'm sure that would have really like brought in like tons of eyes, right? Montreal's in the finals, right? But Carolina and Vegas, especially the way social media goes now and everything else, there are casual hockey fans tuned in, and they go every other night. Then I don't think there's last night or sorry, Monday night there was no hockey or basketball. Or sorry, what's today? Tuesday,
Sunday.
Sunday
Tuesday.
night there was no hockey or basketball. But the Saturday you have hockey, crazy, crazy, one of the craziest games of all time, right? Throwing the pressure of the Stanley Cup Finals, nuts. Tuesday, Monday night you have the NBA, New York City, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, San Antonio gets back in that series. The casual basketball fan or casual sports fan is tuned into that. Here we go now, Tuesday night, and the NHL cranks back up, and everyone's like, wow, Carolina and Vegas, nuts. Now, I don't know what their ratings are going to look like, but I guarantee you, people that would not normally tune in or would watch Dateline or some other, Discovery show on a Tuesday night are probably going to at least take a peek at what's going on with
They're gonna
Carolina
get
and
curious.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the
Because
way,
I
that was
mean,
awesome. That was awesome that you threw in the "Here we go now."
yeah.
Here we go now. Come on. Here we go now.
Yeah, I
Let's
should have
go
clapped after,
Vegas.
right? Yeah. They tried to get the "Let's Go Vegas" chant going, but it's usually always "Go Knights, go" always wins out. I was marvel at the World Cup's coming too. I was marvel at the
Oh my God, the
uh,
World Cup's coming, but
I know, but I was
nobody's
thinking about
visa's
like
getting
fans.
everybody's visa's getting denied. No, the World Cup's coming. It's just gonna be the ball.
There's tickets available, but
Yeah.
like some of these countries and then like some of these leagues and their teams, they have these songs they sing. Some of them are not the nicest songs, but like I always marvel at that. So yeah, they've tried to get "Let's Go Vegas, Let's
We're
Go,"
going
but
to a happy hour on Friday night, and there's some soccer game going on. So I said I was going to bring up Vuzavuela or whatever they're called, just blow it the whole time at the party. Just, it's one of
you
those
should
things.
bring a drum
Oh,
because
that's funny. Wear a
there's
flag and
and a drum. Yeah.
uh,
I went to a I think it's Colorado Rapids game several years ago. Beautiful stadium in Denver. And at the one end, we were at the other end. They were beating the drum the whole game. Like just, and I'm like, holy shit.
you're
Pardon
like,
my- I
is
was
it
like,
just one guy or are they passing it off?
yeah, like how are they doing this? And the drums going the whole game. So that's in the MLS. Never mind what you would see in Europe
Yeah.
or what you're going to see at the World Cup. So,
Yeah.
oh, anyways, we were talking about cheering fans. The next thing you know, we're talking about soccer. So,
That's this it's it's the squirrel podcast. Huh? What?
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Let me.
let's
Do you have anything else to finish up on just on the
the
finals,
game.
or do you want to move into
No,
another area?
are you going to the game tonight?
Yes, I am going to go to the game,
There,
and
got
I
that in.
will. I'll have a full report. We
Can you do a couple just lives from? Can you just send Emmy a couple things? Hey, it's me from at the thing. Can you just maybe just record a couple of those amongst the crowd?
Yeah, if I remember years ago,
Gonna be too
I
excited.
remember to send something, but I didn't remember the last time I went. So I was on the road for Game 4. I got home, or three. I'll be down there tonight. I will report from T-Mobile. I ran into some people in the airport because the next morning after the game, because I had a Vegas overnight and I had to go back to work, and they were like blown away. They said that was our first game in Vegas, and I mean, what a first game to go to, Stanley Cup
Your
Finals.
first games of Stanley Cup Finals.
I know. It's like, yeah, we flew down. Somehow they got tickets. I'm not gonna. I don't know how, but good for them. And they were saying that the energy, and you could see it in Carolina too. Like the energy is just insane.
Yeah,
And I can tell you this from the Colorado series: when the PA announcer's announcing something during the game, a lot of times you can't even hear them because it's so loud in there.
yeah, it's
Like
just a
you have a
mumble.
hard time having a conversation between each other. But yeah, that's kind of the level of energy and in some cases angst and during these games because there's a lot of that too. Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
that, a lot of that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
on that third goal, a lot of buttholes tightened up in that building.
Yeah, there was yeah, there was no nobody breathing easy after that.
Yeah. Let's go around the rest of the league, and we kind of got into it with Dylan Larkin asking for a trade, middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs. That gets leaked. Then coaches start getting hired. Manny Malhotra finally gets his deal done in Vancouver, which is the worst kept secret of all times. Um, and I'm pretty sure it looks like they're drafting his son by the looks of things, right? So number three, unless something goes squirrely and McKenna's still there or whatever.
McKenna?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I know where you're going. Okay. I thought you were trying to say Rutherford if he's still there.
Rutherford, no, no, no. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure Toronto's taking him number one overall, right, McKenna?
Most likely. And to just get back, I want to just finish on Larkin.
Oh, we're
The
not done
whole
with Larkin.
thing about Larkin,
Fuck
when
Larkin.
Matthew Kachuk was telling Calgary he wasn't going to resign. That's kind of where, leave it the Kachucks, right? They're a big part of what's going on as far as publicity for the NHL, and they usually back it up with their play. He kind of started in Calgary several years ago, and now some of these other guys are like, it's not working for me anymore. So I am going to get out. I will say when stuff like this leaks, it's not good for anybody involved. Um, but somebody must think it is because it gets
Who do you
leaked.
think? Which side do you think leaked it?
I don't know. I
Like,
mean,
who does better for it to be leaked? Team or player?
oh, I think the player because it takes away a lot of leverage from your team, especially when 2 days later it comes out where said player is willing to go to, right? That's the thing. So interesting to see, but this Dylan Larkin asking out is not new, or at least letting him know he's not interested in
No.
being around anymore. It started several years ago, and it's going to continue to happen because the players have so much more power than we ever had, and good for them. I mean. Back in the day, you were just hoping after a bad shift you weren't going to the American League, or or if you did go to the American League, that you could ever get back up. So nowadays, these guys are way beyond that, and the teams are way better at playing guys through their issues than or problems they might be having than they used to be. So it's a win-win there.
It's
Talking, yeah,
I, I lost my train of thought, but I was thinking that it's great that we want the players to have the to be able to do the best they can. We want the players to have the power, but at the same time, we want the players to bleed the color of the jersey they're playing with. And right now, we're kind of It seems like we're losing that a little bit, but at the same time, Vegas had this was I was thinking Vegas kind of did this as well. Vegas doesn't believe in drafting. Vegas believes in having the player ready to go now. right?
Well,
So do
uh,
you think with that and what's going on, does the draft start to lose power?
well, I don't think the draft loses power because
But
now,
does some of these teams that have to draft suddenly become more of a development, like almost like Montreal? Remember Montreal Expos back in the day, Montreal Expos baseball team. They had the best team. They all they do is like they just supply players to all the good teams. That's all they do. Like, do some of the teams become kind of like that because they can only draft, they can't grab guys now ready to go?
yeah, so some of the drafts are very important because you can, the picks are important because you can leverage those and get something back, right? Because other
Right.
teams, and I'll give you an example. Cole Smith, who set an NHL Stanley Cup final record with
Mhm.
14 hits. Thank you, Ray. Stats.
LeBouf.
LeBouf on Saturday night. He was traded, I believe, I think for a third round pick. Okay, so now he's plug and play, and we'll see what happens. But what he's brought to this run to get Vegas to where they are, I mean, you're going to wait. Your third round pick, you might be waiting 3 or 4 years. Now, I believe talking about the picks like that, you're like, well, what good is it? I think Pavel Datsuk was a third round pick or fourth. So those guys are there. So you could be giving up with that pick, right? There could be a Pavel Datsuk on the other end of that, but that's 3 or 4 years away. And I've said this before about Vegas, and Vegas has helped change the league and the way the teams operate. Because a rebuild now, like Montreal's done a little bit longer rebuild, and it looks really good. But a lot of other teams flip the script really quickly and or try to. But in Vegas, and I've said it before, and Torts talked about this the other night. Like they're entertainers, the players are entertainers. They're in the entertainment business in Vegas. I say they're in the entertainment business, period. Okay, now they're paid to win, but in Vegas, there's so much competition going on in on a certain night. Like there was some Korean boy band here, and anyone who loves Korean boy bands, I'm not sure, I don't remember who these guys were. Well, they were in the Colorado series.
The Koreans age so well, they're probably Korean men band, but they call them the
They
Korean
are.
boy band.
But to give you an example, they were at sold out at Allegiant for 4 nights in a row while Vegas and Colorado were going on. I didn't even know they were in town until I went to the airport, and all the moms and their daughters are heading back to Seattle or Portland or LA or wherever they're, Honolulu, wherever they're going. Um, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know they were here. Allegiant Stadium for a concert's probably 75,000 people. Those guys sold it out 4 nights in a row. So the Golden Knights fight that year round with NASCAR or uh, WW, when WrestleMania comes in. And I'm not saying other cities don't, because like if you look at New York, there's a ton of stuff going on there too. But I think part of the thought process starts with ownership, where Bill Foley's like, we're winning. And Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee are like, okay, we're winning. And we have to win to stay relevant, so we can get eyes on our product in our market. And in this weekend, the Oakland A's are in town playing the Milwaukee Brewers, because guess who's coming to town in a couple of years? The A's. The PWHL is coming to town. And it just kind of goes on. So there some cities maybe they can't get the players as easily. Vegas is in a good spot because they're very attractive to players, but they're also very keenly aware of how competitive they have to be to make sure they're relevant in this market alone. And of course, I mean, those guys are, they're just they are about winning. And so that's a good combination if you can put players that want to come play for you together with being able to find a way to be successful on the ice. And they've done that for their 9 years. But on the flip side, there's a ton of stuff going on in this town every night that also is grabbing your attention.
And this is going to sound a little morbid, but I also think it goes with the age of the owner. The owner who is a certain age and he buys a team, he needs it now. Like Foley's pretty old, an older man. So if he's going to put all that money in there, he's not going to say, "Oh, let it happen after I'm gone." Whereas a guy like Ryan, is it Ryan Miller in Utah?
Yeah.
He has the time. He has the runway still. So I think ownership has a lot to do with the mindset of I'm putting all this money in. I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, and Bill bought Bournemouth in the Premier Soccer League, and right away they were up there, and they were very successful. So I think part of it is too is a
That
um,
he's just fantastic.
yeah. Well, but I'm just saying,
No,
like,
but
if
I
we're
do believe
talking
it.
about him, like, you'd love to have him as your owner because it's all hands on deck. It's what do we have to do now? I can tell you, like, I think, I mean, I've only Bill couldn't pick me out of a crowd, but I've spent some time when things were getting going here with him. These guys are successful for a reason, and it's you got to build from the bottom up, but it's got to start at the top. It's kind of funny, right? Like, and I think Ryan Miller's doing the exact same thing. He is in a little different built. I mean, he's still he's taken a team that they've done a nice job putting together in Salt Lake, and now they're trying to make the next step. And they did that this year by getting to the playoffs. Now they analyze what they have to do, and if they can acquire some more players, and you might see a team like Utah start to move some of their picks and stuff to get some more or to make a big splash in free agency, trying to build what they want to do. And I think you look at the coaches like you have a
Yeah.
coach like Cassidy who you won a Stanley Cup with. They were treading water towards the end of the year. You bring Torts in. Now all of a sudden they reestablish themselves as a team you think they can be, and they go. And it takes a lot of guts to make a move like that. If you're, Kelly McCrimmon or George McPhee, and you got to go to the owner and go, hey, this isn't working. This is why we think this move needs to be made. And then you need a owner. It's like, all right, go ahead and do it.
He seems like all right. He just seemed like kind of let's do it. Let's put all 1,000 on black. That's what he seems like. He
Yeah,
seems like
but
that
it
guy.
better work, right? It
By the
better
way,
work.
speaking of interesting owners, let's move over to Dallas. Dallas, it's middle of the playoffs. Dallas announces, "Hey, we're moving our building." So Dallas Mavericks and the Stars are moving, and they're moving 30 minutes up the street to Frisco and putting their building there, which is funny because that's where their practice rink is. And Gallardi's, there's a Sandman there. There's a Moxie restaurant there. Like that's a little Canada. They've called that Little Canada up there where they've built this, and he's putting the rink there. So this is the guy that tried to buy the Canucks, and he's doing basically what that Canucks guy wants to do, right? They wanted to do. So it's really interesting. I hate it because as with my show, I hate playing the suburbs. I like playing downtown. So I can't imagine. I would imagine being a player, you'd want to play downtown. You want to play in the city, not in the middle of
Yeah,
the suburbs. That's
yeah,
that's what I just thought that's another move in the middle of the playoffs that's happening. That's just announced. I'm just like, oh, I guess we don't take our time to announce things. We're just going to do it all at one time, and then Manny Malhotra gets hired. And then
okay.
and then here's
Buckle
here
in. Put your seatbelt on when you
hold
talk
on.
about this.
Is this a bigger surprise? Out of the blue, the Kings signed Peter Laviolette, Laviolette,
And
and
then, and
well,
then,
let's stop at Laviolette.
okay, well, let's back up then. Well, let's talk about Dallas and we'll move forward. I think I love downtown Dallas. You do. Dallas is great. I agree. Like, if you look at like the Kings play downtown, the Golden Knights play downtown, Toronto plays downtown,
Vancouver plays
Vancouver
downtown.
plays downtown, Edmonton, Denver, Colorado. So Madison Square Garden, craziest building in the world, right? So they're downtown. Boston downtown. But Anaheim is up and coming, and Anaheim's filling the building now.
But
And
Anaheim plays downtown Anaheim.
yeah, but
But
I mean,
you can't think that that's the suburb. Anaheim's Anaheim. Anaheim is in Anaheim.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, if you
It's the
compare it,
suburbs of LA, but it's
yeah, it's
Anaheim's
still big. I get you.
right.
Okay. And where my head goes is when you talk about them moving to Frisco, um, is I think of Ottawa, but Ottawa's stuck between Montreal and Toronto, and they're playing in Canada, right? Like, isn't
Hmm.
that the name of the little the community they're playing
Yeah,
outside of Ottawa, which is
yeah.
killing them? Nashville plays downtown. St. Louis plays downtown. Chicago. So I agree.
Location, location,
Yeah,
location,
yeah.
location.
So here's the thing. The Cowboys practice facility, I believe, is in Frisco, or it's north of the city because I remember flying over it. So now they're going to put the Mavs and the Stars out there, and they're going to try and build their own little um, I guess own little Canada out there, whatever you know what I mean? Like they're going to build
Well,
their own little community. The question is how's your road system to get you out there, and where are you pulling your fans from? Are you pulling your fans from the north side of Dallas? Like, are you pull your fans from like you know what I mean? How many people are
I
you
think they
pulling from
probably would
downtown?
have done I think they probably would have done investigation into where so Arlington is where the football team plays and also the baseball team plays.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they would have done investigation into, and Dallas is there's Fort Worth is a ways away, so it's kind of like a driving town. So they've obviously figured that we have to build what the you know the football team is built, because he's built a mall and he's built everything that's become a little community, like an entertainment community. That's where that first Cosm is, by the way. um so I'm guessing, i'm
Okay.
I'm just guessing it's a, I don't know. I still like downtown Dallas, but after the basketball team's doing the same thing, I would say that that they want the property to park and just to build other things around it. So
You know, it's crazy because the American Airlines ranked there in downtown Dallas. I mean,
beautiful.
what's going to go into that next? You know, you're going to put some concerts. I mean, you're losing 82 home dates a year from the Mavs and the Stars.
Hmm.
And the Cowboys training facility is out by where they're going to be. I'm almost sure it's in Frisco or it's one of those communities
I
north.
think I think it's in Arlington. I think it's near the stadium that they have, or what, I don't know. You fly over, you
Well,
check it out.
I mean, maybe it was. There's so many football fields in the
I
state, but
don't
there was
care
one with a big
anymore.
blue star in it. So I'm guessing, you know, maybe. But you know, they did
Dallas
build. They
Star,
did. What's it? How's that go?
Dallas Stars,
Yeah. Uh, I think Arlington, Jerry's World's out there, or Cowboy Stadium. The NFL
Cowboys.
can build a stadium, and if you build it, they will come. That's how much power the NFL has. Let's see how this goes in Dallas. I'd love to play in Dallas. I think that'd be such a fun city to play in. Great for the players. Now they're going to practice out there. They're going to live out there, and they're going to play out there. And they're always competitive. So we'll see when this gets going in the next couple of years. Who else did you talk about? Did you talk about Maholter, or did we go to
We went to
L.A.?
Malhotra. We went to
Okay.
LA. We went to La Faya, Lalauette. Ooh.
Okay. Who do you want to talk about Maholter
No,
or
Malhotra was, yeah. Well, Malhotra was, I that we knew that was happening. It was coming along. I'm a big fan. I think it's a lot of work, a lot of lifting for a new coach in a team that's struggling. I think he's got. It seems like he has a good management team above him to insulate him from hopefully the ownership.
Yeah, and you know what? If you coach comes in and builds a good foundation, he knows all those guys. He's been around them all. That's huge. He doesn't have to come in and get to know anybody. He knows them all. Uh,
Hmm.
Probably like you know, I'll give an example. Like I see Ryan Craig, who was on he coaches the Henderson Silver Knights. Seen Krager, he was on the bench for the uh, up until the Cup, and then now the last couple of years he's coached the Silver Knights. Um, and so I see him at the games all the time. So, you know, Maholtra's been down. I want to call it GM Place. What is it now called? Rogers or something?
Rogers Place, yeah,
Yeah,
because
Rogers Place.
they own
Uh,
the rights to the games and they own two buildings. It just
yeah,
doesn't make sense at all.
yeah, the garage as they used to call it. But
Yeah.
I'm sure Maholtra is down there watching at night, like coming down to watch them too. So he knows them, he's watched them, and now he can go in and kind of put his own stamp on it. I like what they're doing there. Obviously, in the Pacific, you're going to have to get your head up and get moving pretty quick because you know certain teams are going to be perennially good. And then you've got other teams like Anaheim and San Jose that are on the rise big time. And so Vancouver's got to get going.
Hey, let's talk. You fly into LA all the time. Have you noticed that SoFi is covered up on the stadium? Is that because of the soccer or what's going on there? Do you know?
No, it's always been covered.
Has it always been covered?
Yeah.
Why is it? Well, it used to be out at the beginning, didn't it?
No, well, till they put the roof on.
No, 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 not the, but the SoFi, the sign.
Oh, uh, the sign's covered. I thought you were talking
Yeah,
about the
it's got like
building.
material. The sign's got material over it right now, and I don't. I've the last three times I've flown in there, I was
Uh,
like, that's fucking weird. Is it because of soccer?
yeah, it must be because of soccer. And you know what's funny is SoFi is considered an open air stadium
Yeah,
because
but
of it's just got the roof and then it's got all the columns around it, which I think is
yeah,
really interesting that they did it that way. Because you know you can get 95-degree day in LA, and like I'm like, how's that
the,
going to work for
the
everybody? But
winds go through it. That's what the way they designed it
yeah,
apparently.
so it's pretty ingenious. But I thought just put a couple more sheets of gyprock up there and hardy board, you know, and close that thing up so we
You
because they
guys
had a
okay?
thunderstorm. They had a thunderstorm. What in the area? Then they're pretty rare in LA, but
Yeah,
and they had to shut the game down because it's considered an open air stadium.
that's funny.
Um, so talking about LA, La Violette, known quantity. Um, they want to pick up the pace, and you know, Kenny's probably known Peter Laviolette for 20 or 30 years, but
Uh-huh.
I think what they want to do is the high flying team in the LA Basin is the Anaheim Ducks right now, and you're in, as they say, in Hollywood and Tinseltown. You got to have a little bit more exciting product going out there, and I think that what Laviolette will do will he'll bring an up tempo game to that city and to that team that goes along with what you see in San Jose, Anaheim, Edmonton plays up tempo, and trying to think
They'll
Vegas can
probably
play up
they'll,
tempo, but
they'll
you know,
probably have to send him over to Turkey to finish that plug job he got. So,
oh man,
it won't be.
we
Uh,
haven't even got to what really. I mean, I'm really hoping that we're building this show so we can end on a high
Nothing else
note.
happened. Let's wrap it up. What are your shout outs?
Hey, let's talk about
Let's talk about Edmonton.
yeah,
Do you want to
okay.
talk about Edmonton or Toronto first?
What do you want to talk about Toronto?
Toronto can't, nobody wants to coach there. Everybody just keeps moving on. Nobody wants to go there. There's like, yeah, no thanks. Yeah, no. Yeah, no thanks. And then Edmonton's like, okay, what do we do? We got a super player. We've brought in the coach he wanted. Is there anybody? Is Graham James available? And then Graham James wasn't available, so they go, how about Babcock? Is there any chance Babcock could coach? And they said, well, we'll hire him. And then they said, well, he's got to be released from prison. So they got to get him out of prison. And then they've got to sign off. They got to sign off on the league's got to sign off, and the players' union has to sign off. And let me tell you something. If that has to happen, there's smoke and there's fire and three buildings already burnt down. And what the fuck are you doing hiring them? It's I am when you sent me that I was on a plane and I was on United and I had the text message thing, but it won't upload the photo of what you sent. And I'm like, huh, I wonder what's going on because Trent sent the same thing like 2 seconds after you sent. I'm like, oh my God. Were the twins put together as well? Like something interesting. And then when I seen that, I was just like, oh my God. Remember back in the day, we talk about retreads, right? But back in the day, they had those tires that were blowing up on Ford Broncos or something. Well, the they've decided to retread one of those tires from the Ford Bronco. You know what I mean? Like it's killed 8 people while they're driving, but we've decided to retread it and get it going. That's what's going on. Anyways, Jeff, what do you think about the hiring?
I smiling and nodding politely, right? I
Look, I
think,
get he gets hockey.
yeah,
I get that he gets
yeah,
hockey.
yeah.
He doesn't get humans.
I think, you know, trying to here's the thing about Babcock going to Edmonton. Okay, so you have to clear it with the NHLPA, and then the league has to look at it. Okay, so and I'm sure they look at everything. That in itself is very interesting. His history, guys won a Stanley Cup and I believe a gold medal. So there's a
Hmm.
lot in the past, but the distant, like it's a ways away from where we are now, that was very positive. The recent returns have not been um, as I don't want to positive, but as easy to look at. And
He got 2 weeks with Columbus.
yeah, and so Toronto wasn't good. Columbus wasn't good, and in both cases, you have players that I don't know if the word's uncomfortable or however, and whether you like it or not, it's a player-driven league now. Um, just were not responding or were affected to a point where there was time to move on. And the last one was 2 weeks. And um, it's the old dog new trick, right? So we'll see if Edmonton
You
goes
know what?
forward with it,
You know what's crazy about it?
where it's going to go. Yes. What?
It's Bowman that's hiring him, who was in the center of the whole debacle in Chicago. The
Hmm.
guy is clueless. Like, how can you let somebody that created that he didn't he have to serve a suspension as well?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he's back hiring somebody that's iffy, shady, and been banned from the league. And they probably looked at Q's back. They let Q back. Q's a different story. Q trusted people that he thought would take care of things, and he just didn't. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And I might be wrong, but I'm saying Q's a different story. He's liked. He's well liked. So the players are going to sign off it, and the league's going to sign off it. I think it's too fresh for him. But I just like somebody's got to look at Bowman. Like dude, he's just clueless.
Well, I think part of it is, um, reading the room, right?
Yeah, clueless.
That's what your profession is reading the room.
Hmm.
But we also reading the room means a lot of other things. So we'll see where this goes. You know, and yeah, it's been a pretty, I got to be honest with you. I mean, the finals has been unbelievable. But this news popping out the last few days on several different fronts has been, I'm just like, I guess we're in a 24-hour a day news cycle, even in the
No,
NHL
the
and
ring
pro hockey now. Like, it doesn't
exactly.
matter. Um,
The rings around Saturn are more interesting than Saturn.
Oh man. Yeah. So well, let's see how this goes. It's funny. I go way back with Babcock. When I got Terry Zapp and I went to Kelowna when we first were a part of the WHL team, and uh, one of the Williams boys. I played with Reed. I think it was Reed, and Babcock stayed at the same house that we stayed at. So I met Mike years and years ago. And there's a guy that left the junior hockey. I think he went on and played in the University of Saskatchewan. He played, and then he went on to coaching, and he's been successful everywhere he's gone. And part of what I think has gone on here is it's a copycat league. So Edmonton has looked at what happened in Columbus with the bump that they got from bonus from Bones, right?
Boner.
And then Anaheim with the bump they're getting from Q, and then Vegas with the bump they're getting from Torts. And I think if you
Here's
start looking around, and then maybe LA is looking with Laviolette with the bump with the guy's been around looking for that bump, and I
Yeah, but he
think
hasn't
maybe
gone anywhere. Laviolette's been unhired for like 4 weeks. Like
yeah.
those other guys took time off.
Yeah. And then so maybe that's all I can think is that Edmonton's looking and going, hey,
Then why wouldn't you be going after Daryl?
Daryl, I'm sure, is been. They might have talked to Daryl, but I think Daryl's at the point probably now where he's happy to be on the farm, doing his thing.
I'm just
But
mad.
you have to be careful when you bring someone in. Well, anytime you bring someone in, that is a little bit longer in the tooth.
Well,
There's no
but also
guarantees,
he
right?
was busting balls. He was busting stars' balls, and you have the biggest star.
Hmm.
None of it. It all leads the roads to the airport, is what it leads to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I think in looking at Edmonton, you gotta the dynamic on every team is and it operates in its own orbit. I get that, but Knobloch came in and um, he did a really good job. Now he can't save the puck if you want to, he can't stand in goal if you want to blame, the goaltending, which I don't think in the end was the biggest issue. But I will tell you that the Edmonton Oilers team that made it to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row, and the one I saw come through Vegas last year in the second round, I think that might have been one of the best teams they've ever had. And they just ran into the Florida Panthers and kind of their kryptonite in their own way. But Knobloch, it seemed like this last year when I watched Edmonton and I watched some of the guys that left and some of the guys that came in, they just didn't have that continuity that they'd had the 2 years before. And now all of a sudden, Draisaitl and McDavid, because they play so much, are getting now they could play 5 minutes a game and get injured. I get that, but I think it's cumulative on them as
hmm.
well. And so they're
But
gonna
also
look.
you can't have the team the other team across the ice that you've gone to against against those years ran out of gas as well. You can't expect the team that lost not to run out of gas. Like,
Yeah, and
right,
I'm
you're probably
interested to
even
see.
giving even more. Like you're giving even more by losing the disappointment, right? So
I think Babcock is going to be really interesting to see in Edmonton if it happens. But I'm interested to see. It's kind of funny if we talk about this. I'm really interested to see it where Knobloch, if anybody gives him an opportunity, um, because man, the guy just came in and they were really good. And I know Draisaitl and McDavid are really can make you look really good really fast. But then all of a sudden the candle kind of flickered this year in Edmonton, and then poof, we had no more light. And they looked tired. They when you watch them play, um, they I get it. It's a grind. I mean, tomorrow night or tonight, Vegas is going to play, I think, their 102nd game of the year. So I understand that. Edmonton did that 2 years in a row. Um, but I'm interested to see what happens with Knobloch because I think there's a pretty darn good coach in there. And
yeah, I thought yeah.
I do. I like him. And I hope he shows back up somewhere else. I think he'd do really well with a young team. And he did really well with a veteran team, but I think he's the kind of guy he just seems like and so who needs a coach?
Be funny if he ended up in Toronto.
Yeah, it might be the place for him. But whoever needs a coach that's got a younger team, that is the guy that I would definitely talk to him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been there, and he's almost closed the deal. He hasn't quite, but it's a lot of experience in a short period of time for a guy that just came into the league.
Yeah. All
So,
right. Let's wrap
okay,
this up.
um, yeah. What you got any shout outs or anything?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Uh,
they going to make me cry? Should I go first
no,
or?
but next week I'm going to make one cry. This week I'm going
Okay.
to say, these people came to a show last year when I was in Tulsa, and they own a cookie place called Susie Crave Cookie, and they're very nice. I'm blanking on her name. Oh, obviously Susie. His name's Kip Cabler. Uh, um,
Tip Cabler, that sounds
yeah.
like a cookie.
That sounds like the cookie people, right?
Yeah.
He came out to the show on Saturday, brings me a jersey, brings me a Tulsa Oilers jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, and like it's heavy duty, and I'm just like, yeah, you didn't need to do that, but he did put my name on the back of it, and just so you know, and he listens to the podcast. He's a big fan, tells everybody about it. So I hooked him up with some stickers and magnets from the show. I had them in my bag. So big shout out to the people that actually listening to the show. So it's not just Kip, it's everybody. Kip, thank you. Big shout out to you, but everybody that listens to the show, we really appreciate it, guys. And thanks for telling people about it. And yeah, yeah, that's my
That's
shout
good.
out to the people.
No, that's awesome. Kip, thank you. Yeah.
That's my my
we-
that's my second Kip in my life. That's I've only had two.
really, and Kip Lindsay?
Yep, Kip Lindsey and Kip Gabler.
And I played with Kip Miller.
Ah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the
Kip was a
triangle is complete.
do you know what? Kip Miller, who's the Miller in the with the Rangers now? It's captain. What's his first name?
Oh yeah, JT.
JT. Kip reminds me, or JT reminds me a lot of Kip, the way they play. Very
Surly.
similar. Very left-handed shot. Not Kip wasn't as surly as JT is.
That's right. I
But
just gave Kip I just gave Kip Miller a bad shout out. Surly.
yeah, yeah, but he was really skilled. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, but Kip Miller was a hell of a player.
Shout out to
I'm gonna
Kip.
I'm gonna shout out the guy I've been shouting out the whole show is Ray LaBouffe, who
Right above.
does LaBouffe. He works alongside two of the greatest guys. Of course, that I know. Oh well, I don't, not so much. I know
I don't
they're
work with
really good guys though. Shane Knighty and of course Dave Gosher, who's also gets confused because he's the lead singer of Double Minor, the band, and they're doing their Vegas residency here after the playoffs are over. But he mostly works with those guys, but he also works with Mallard and the rest of the crew, Ashley and just wonderful people. But Ray, this is a shout out for you. Thank you so much because I'll send him stuff and he's always so quick to respond. And this morning I wake up, I open up my email, I got 35 pages of stuff for game 3 or game 4 of the Stanley Cup final. I'm like, Ray, I don't know how you do it, but
you're
God
gonna get
bless
the,
you.
you're
Yeah.
gonna show up at the building tonight with a textbook.
Yeah, I'll still be reading. I'll be on like page 17. I'll never be able to get through it all. But these are the people behind the people. And that's what makes, like, you'll hear stuff over the course of the playoffs get blurted out there. And some of the stuff, the announcers will just remember because they're so good. But a lot of it is from the people behind the scenes. So, Ray and all the people behind the scenes that prop up these broadcasts and these shows we're watching, thank you.
People
Love tall.
watching people. Love tall.